All right, welcome back. As you can see, we have a collection of parts here. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a third gen i7 onto the MSI Z77A G45 Thunderbolt. It's going to be cooled by a Johnsbow CR1000 Evo. Picked it because it lights up and it looked really cool. Graphics, a Founders Edition NVIDIA GTX 1070 Ti, 32 gigs of Corsair DDR3, and for the case, we've got the Amazon bought Aurora GC6 coupled with some fans and a controller by Okinos, also from Amazon, and a 700 watt power supply, or 600 watt, I can't remember, from a Pivia. It's the Spirit Power Series. It's not 80 plus rated, but it's proof of concept for cheap build. Honestly, I'd go for a better, like a thermal take 80 plus, but we're going on the cheap. And with that said, we have a Team Group 512 gig SSD to go with it all. So let me unbox all this stuff, get it set aside, and we'll do some building. This is an i7-3770 3.4 gigahertz processor. Already mounted. Already kind of started doing the build here. But let's go ahead and get some thermal grease on here. Just using some Corsair thermal grease. See if I have enough left. That should be more than enough. Let's put in some RAM. We're going to be filling all 4 slots. So now we need to get this into a case. Seems it already came with some fans. Captive thumb screws. What do we got here? Yeah, here's our fans, Molex powered. I don't want those. So I'll be removing those. Let's see if we can pop the front panel off. If it pops up. It does. Nice mesh. Good airflow. Another interesting thing. Look at and there's mounting holes for what looks to be two 120 fans. You'd need the long screws that go down, but that's not bad. If you had micro ATX or an ITX case and you want to fill up some spots, that might be a good place to draw air from. Perfect. Now, in theory, I should be able to get the motherboard in here and still be able to run our power lines, but let's find out. IO shield. Easy. Before we do this, yep, two standoffs need to come out. That one and that one need to go down here and here. Always check your standoff. So, this one, goes right there. That one's USB. Line up the missing pin. Goes right there. Nice sleeved cables. It's got a good appearance. Means it'll work, right? Won't blow up on us, will it? Now, the case does have a filter down here at the bottom. So we want our fan to go down. Came with thumb screws. That's actually different. Give you a little look. Looks all right. Good. This one up here is going to be a bed. Got it. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Has rubber feet that go down the slots, and then these hold it secure, and these two are the tightest two installed. Alright, we've got our SSD mounted. You could have a 3.5 inch hard drive, physical hard drive in here. It could mount physical hard drive on top, like the SSD. It looks like there might be other mounts here. Possibly. I doubt it, but possibly. For SSDs, who knows? But I only need the one. So there's two SATA connections, one for each side. Not really going to worry about that. The RGB connection, since this motherboard doesn't have RGB or ARGB, we don't plug this in. This gets to take care of it. But we do need to plug in a fan header. So that's kind of going to dictate where we mount this guy. Alright, that was painless. So now, let's see. Guess we'll start at the top. Not my finest cable management, but it should work. Cables are out of the way. Nobody's gonna get hurt. Let's see if the lid. Oh, wow. No bulge, no stress, no muss, no fuss. Plenty of room. Yeah. Good and flush. No complaints. Oh, that's gonna be. Go down there. Stay out of the way. Look at that beautiful scene. Ugh. Looks clean. Could still fit 2 fans right here if we wanted to. We could put the 2 fans up here if we wanted to. We've got room. I don't think we need to. 2 fans coming in, 1 going out, plenty of airflow, blower style. I don't think we will need to, but if the need arises, we have the ability. All right, let me clean this up, plug it in, we'll see what happens.
Especially now, the demons. My sisters and brothers be thankful. A seat for one as eyes and what will become the world that they created.
Yellow security limits required.
target javelin.
All units, hostile mix inbound. Clear the route. Alpha squad, reporting heavy damage. Enemy mech down.
Target Phoenix Hawk.
Swordburst, weapon systems are down. Ejecting.
Wow. I did not expect that kind of performance out of a third gen i7. The 1070 Ti kind of, but the processor that really performed well. I'm going to go over a price list. Um, I already had some of the things like the motherboard, the RAM, the GPU, but I tried to find an average price or what I spent on Amazon or eBay for stuff. So let me just get through it. The motherboard I found as cheap as $15 and as expensive as $135 with no processor, no RAM. It's just the motherboard. And the $15 one seemed like a unicorn kind of thing. They weren't parts only, they just, somebody wanted to get rid of them. However, the average that I found as far as completed listings was about $50. The processor, eBay, I got for 27, but I averaged it out to about $30 because that's kind of where the scale was. I just happened to get one for 27. The RAM looks to be anywhere from about $30 to $40. I split the difference and went 35. The Team Group SSD 512 gig I got off Amazon for $27. The power supply by Apiva that's not 80 plus rated, so maybe splurge a little bit and at least get one that's 80 plus rated, was $34. The CPU cooler, which did an excellent job in my opinion, $24. The fans, the ARGB fans with controller, those were $27. 5 fans. I only used 3. It came with the controller and the remote. So if you want to change the color, if you want to put into a different mode, you can do that. I like green. The GTX 1070 Ti. Mine's a Founders Edition, which is the blower motor style. Honestly, I think I'd rather have a 2 or a 3 fan model. Those start at $75. The Founders Editions are a little bit more expensive, it seems. They don't perform any better. So for cooling, I'd just go with the 2 or 3 fan, like an Asus, an MSI, a Gigabyte, somebody, EVGA. And last but not least, the case. The case that apparently is no longer available. I don't know how I keep reviewing cases that are no longer available, but my review, it was really easy to build in, and the back area had plenty of room to do cable management. Even with my crappy cable management, the lid, as you saw, it just goes on. I like the mesh front, and I really love the fact that I can have 3 fans up front, 2 on the bottom, 2 on top, 1 in the back. I did fix the exhaust fan. In the video, you see me install it as an intake. I did fix it before I started doing any testing. But overall, I really like that case. I hate the fact that every time I find a case, they go not available. Maybe they'll come back. Rundown on the years of this stuff. Motherboard was released in 2012. The processor, the i7-3770, again, 2012. The GeForce card, though, that was released in 2016. And it just so happens that Doom 2016, oddly enough, was released in 2016. Who would have known? MechWarrior 5, that was 2019. Pal World, 2024. And CarX Street, the racing game, 2024 as well. And oddly enough, all of them got roughly 60 frames per second. That was quite impressive for hardware that is definitely older than the titles, some of which up to 12 years older. Kind of nice, in my opinion. Another thing is, tomorrow's the launch of the RTX 5070 Ti by NVIDIA. And I recommend that you watch Gamers Nexus or Jay's 2 Cents. Basically, the card isn't worth the money. Frames per second, per dollar, it just really isn't. Steve at Gamers Nexus kept referring to it as the version 4 4080 because its specs pretty much just fell in line with the 4080 on most games. But the starting MSRP price was supposed to be $750. That's kind of, Jay's 2 Cents covers that a lot better than I will. But if I spent $350-ish, $355-ish on all of that, and a video card alone is $750, and this still was able to do that, imagine what kind of a system you could build for $750 that would outperform this. You could either spend $750 or more on just a graphics card, or you could actually build a gaming rig for that price. I'd say 6th gen i7, maybe i5, 32 gigs of DDR4, because this is DDR3. And like a 2070, an RTX 2070, so you can get some of that ray tracing goodness with another 600, maybe 700 watt power supply. Cheap case, lots of airflow, fans that light up. NVMe drives are equivalent to the SSDs as far as cost. They're just faster. So, you can still get a 512 gig NVMe SSD to go into the motherboard, maybe, depending on which motherboard you get. Or, when did NVMe start? Maybe not. Maybe you have to wait till the 7th or 8th gen. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, $750, I think you could build a system that's easily double the performance of what I've got here and enjoy even more newer games and titles. Sure, not everything was set to max. This is a 1080p monitor. Everything was playing at 1080p, either medium to high settings, or like the racing game, apparently it was picking ultra for everything. And I still got 60 frames a second. Yeah. As much as I love the cool new stuff, I can't justify spending $750 minimum on just a graphics card when I just learned I've got hardware that'll play games that I love playing on a newer system. So, until next time, thanks for stopping by. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this. What changes you would make. Would you throw a 4th gen? Not that the motherboard would support it, but what would you do differently? What's your budget? Do you even like the green? I don't know. And give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps out. Thanks to everybody who already has. And until next week, have fun.